Let's see if I can get it up here like this. And we're going to do the same thing that we did on the other side. I'm going to add some of the tissue that I have, some stamps, and this tissue, I will post a picture. I will post a JPEG file so you can print it off yourself. And I just created it in Canva. I added tissue with washi to a piece of a cardstock and just ran it through my printer, and it works great, as you can see. This really really turned out good. In fact, you can hardly tell which side is which. For the vellum, I'm going to use the matte medium. You can always use Mod Podge. It works just as well. And I like the vellum because it kind of disappears into the into the background, but you can still see what's underneath. I think I'm just going to do one right here. Just like that. Okay. So that's all I need of the vellum. Or not vellum, the tissue paper, pardon me. Let me dry this. That's dry. Let's add some stamping. Our stamps are over here. And then we'll add some stencils. And I'm just using some stamps that I have, and this Archival ink pad. And I'm not using a stamp pad. I mean a stamp block. I'm just going for it. And that's all I want. I'm going to do a little bit of stenciling. I think for this one, I'm going to use this. This is kind of like a mad scientist stencil. I'm going to use some of this, and I think I'm going to use it and use the yellow again. Do I want yellow? Let's use purple. Let's be wild, my booty. It's just not very attractive, but please forgive me. So this is brilliant purple. So I've used brilliant purple, bright orange, and bright yellow. And then, of course, black and white. I am just going to take a makeup sponge. I'm going to dab some of it off, and then I'm just going to go over all of this, not all of it, but some of it. Ah, that looks good. That looks really good. I like that. Okay, I'm going to dry this before I do. I'm going to do some yellow and orange. I'm going to do some green and white on this side. And I'm just using, this is just a tube, and it's a real strong tube, so I don't know where I found it, but, and I'm just using it as a stamp. I'm just dipping it in my paint, getting it nice and juicy there. Get this, and I'm just going to start stamping. Oh, that was so cool. We'll do one more, I think. Let's do a few more. I'm going to do one right there because I'm going to put a tree right here. So now I want to do white. Let me get a little more white. Sorry about that. Kind of flicked up. And just doing the same thing. It's kind of hard to figure out where to put it. This one, I'm going to leave it just like that. We're not going to overcomplicate anything. Okay. So let me dry this. And to me, the best way that I have found to splatter, I'm going to put this up here, kind of cover up my surface, is to take an acrylic marker, Posca pen, or whatever else you have, put it on, and I'm sorry this is white, so it's kind of hard to see. Put it on a plate or paper or something and let it get into a puddle. Let a puddle start, just kind of like that. And then, as one lady said, feel like the Pope that you're going to bless somebody. Do as much or as little as you want. That is more satisfying than trying to do it with the paintbrush. I don't do those well. I don't get the paint. I get the paint either too watery or not watery enough. So that's much easier. At least it is to me. And I am going to I painted it brown, and the only brown I have is this coffee grounds. I really wanted it darker, but I didn't have one. So I painted it that. I added a little bit of white. I don't know if you can see, just a little bit of white dry brush. And now I'm going to add some black dry brush. But I thought I would wait and do that with you guys so you could kind of see how to do it. Not that I do it great, but I'll probably do it terrible today. So it doesn't take much paint. And all you need to do, I'm just going to use this piece of paper right here. You're just going to dip it into, into your paint, and then use something else and try to get most of it off, because you want it like that. Okay? So you're getting a lot of it off, and then you're just going to go over it lightly. And especially on the edges. Let's see if I can get some down there. And so it just gives it, it's kind of hard to see, isn't it? It just gives it a little bit of dimension and a little bit of texture. You can do as much or as little as you want. Okay, for this side I have bats. I think I have two ghosts. I have my little bats here. Not that one because he looks weird. Here's my window. I may cut one of those little thingies off. I think I will. Just cut that off. Just do it like that. All right. Just kind of breaking it up a little bit. Oh, it looks like. So let me get my house back. So my tree is going to go just right here. I think I'm going to do it over on this side because then I can get really close over here. So he's going to go there. I thought I'd put my window up here. And then I have some words. I have spooky vibes. I'm going to add my ghost. And then I've got some, I'm not adding much to this because it's just going to be the back of the house. So no one's really going to see it unless they turn it around. Or they put it like on their table so you can see all of it. I may have to do a tablescape these need it, but I'm going to just make sure that all the edges are black. Sorry, he's kind of got green on him. I guess that's okay. So I'm just going to glue this tree on. I'm just using some of the gel medium, and I don't want to have to use a paintbrush, so I'm just using my hand to attach this piece of vellum. Making sure that's all down. So I'm going to do a ghost. I'm just going to do him on top. I think I might just do the big one up here. And I may do the little one maybe in the bushes in the tree here. Even under it somehow. Oh, I think that looks good. Okay. All right, we're just going to do that. And then I will re-glue those back down. Okay. So I think he may need to come maybe just down here, and then I'm going to do some some of the bats. I'm going to add a couple of words. Then my fence is, I don't even know if it needs a fence, but we shall see. Fence might look pretty good all the way across. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so I have this. Let me put this on here. Whoops. Come on, stick for me. Cut this one in half, I think. Like that. Let me hold that for a moment. Then I'm going to add my bats. And then we're going to do the sides just really quick. We're going to do the sides. So this side is done with the exception of putting my fence, and I will do that. So now let's do the sides, and we're going to put it together. All right, so I have sides here. And I think I'm going to do a little bit of stenciling in white on both of them to kind of give it just a little bit. So let me do a little white. And then I have this little cluster of pumpkins. And then the other side, I'm just going to add a word. I may add a little bit more later, but I want to be respectful of your time. And I know this is taking a little bit longer than I had intended. Oh, that looks good. Woo! That really made it pop. Okay, just like that. All right. Put that aside. We're going to let this dry. I might put this fence right here So then it looks like it's continuing on from here to the other side. Let's give it a try. And then we'll add a word on this side and we'll add pumpkins on the other. I'm just going to set it right there on the edge. In fact, I may just do it that way, because I have pumpkins on that side, so it wouldn't be pumpkin and pumpkin. Okay. Put that right there. I'm going to do a little bit of, just use this that I messed up that I don't like, to add to the top of that. Sorry, I'm trying to hurry. Here we go. Awesome. Okay. We have that. Then I have Happy Halloween. That looks really cute. And I think I'll just do that. Just like that. Okay, on this side, I have Boo. And then I had some other words, but I don't see them at this moment. They're too big, I think. I'm just going to leave it with this, because I think that's cute. I love that little Boo. I'm going to have this Ghosts and Goblins. We'll do it that. We'll make it work. Okay, so let me glue the eye on, because it's going to be the middle O. I'm going to do this one. Put it up underneath there. And then this guy. I tried to do cute things. I don't do spooky things. I don't do like skulls and all that stuff. That's just not me. I want to move this down. There we go. Because you're not going to see it because of the roof. All right, let me see here. Just going to add this up underneath there. Maybe I am. There we go. There we go. Okay, that looks good. So we have our sides. Really quick, really easy. Nothing complicated about that. And you know what? I'm going to add Trick or Treat over here. I got to add it. I just got to add it. I mean, you got to have Trick or Treat on there. Okay, so there we go. There's our back. We have our sides. And we have our front. Now, okay, that's good. All right, so I'm going to start with the long side. So that's going to be here. Okay, let me scoot this up to make sure everything's in frame. Okay, so I'm going to glue my sides. And you don't have to glue, don't have to worry about the bottom. You can use hot glue, but I don't like the fact that hot glue kind of raises it up and it doesn't do a good seal. You kind of can see it, because I did one house that way and I just didn't like the way it kind of adds some dimension to it, and I didn't want that. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to set it down in there. kind of line it up. It's kind of hard to do it this way. And then I'm going to do this. And I'm going to hold that, line it up. And then I'm going to push that. Whoops. This is the hard part of getting it all together. Let's just do one side at a time. We're just going to hold that for a few minutes. And we're going to push that down just like that. Look at that. Look at that. That looks so good. And look at the fence. It just, I'll cut that off just a little bit, but that looks really good. So we're just going to hold that for a few minutes. I can't. And this one's going to be a little tricky. Don't tell me I lost it. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to add this side first. I bet I'm going to have to do both of these at one time. Okay. The hard part is it's got a little lip down here where the box went together. Let me get that down. Ooh, sorry. I know you can't see, but it looks really cute. Our house is done. Other than putting on the roof, you can leave it like this, or you can paint. I have these little knobs that I'm going to add just so that, get back in there. I'm going to paint them black and add these little knobs so it's like little feet to the house. This looked just like this. It's just a piece of cardboard, and I just tore the top. And of course this isn't working. I just tore this top piece off to reveal the corrugated cardboard up underneath there. I didn't tear all of it. I left some of it, and then I dry brushed black. I dry brushed a little bit of brown, but you really couldn't see it. And then I dry brushed a little bit of white, but I think. So it's time to put on the roof of the house. What I have done is I measured the top of my house, and the top of my house is about 6 3/4, and this is about 4, almost 5. So say 7 and 5 is 12. I added an inch to my roof. Looks like more than an inch, so we may need to cut some off. I thought I made it right. So, sorry, I got paint on me. Not anything unusual. And then my house here is, it should be 2.5, but it looks like it's about a little bit more than that, maybe 2 3/4. And I cut this to, looks like to be 3 1/4. So that way I have a little bit of an overhang and it doesn't just stick right on there. So what I did, okay, so I wanted to finish doing this so I could get it all done. I want this to hang over like a 1/2 inch. So this to here, we're going to say it's 7 1/2. So and also I painted my underside black so that, because you're going to see a little bit of the underneath, and I wanted to paint that, so I painted that black. So we have this here, and then we have this here. Now I lost my measurement. 7 1/2. Okay, so we're going to go here to 7 1/2. I am just going to make a little mark because you're not going to see the inside. Just make a little mark at 7 1/2. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to fold up. This way, we now have our roof. And we are just going to add it just like that. It is a little long on this side, so I'm going to cut some of that off. And if you wanted this solid black, that would look good too. In fact, I'm thinking I might do that because it's kind of distracting from the house, but maybe not. I'll live with it for a few days and I'll see what I want. Okay, so I definitely want to make, this is the front of my house, so I want to make sure that this is the best side. So I'm just going to run a bead of glue. I love these precision tips. I tell you what, let's just do this. Let's just do one side. Sorry, I'm wobbly. Hard to squeeze and keep it on there. Okay, this is the short side. So I am going to add this. I'm going to push that in because I can tell it's a little bit off. And I'm going to hold it for a few minutes to let that glue set. You can use hot glue if you want, but I find that hot glue kind of, hot glue doesn't smush. You know, it doesn't make things lay flat. Things kind of sit on top of it, so it puffs it up a little bit. So I like to use this glue, and the glue I'm using, it's called Reptile Premium Craft Adhesive. And this stuff, it is a little pricey, but it works great. And oh gosh. Okay, so I think that's good. Let's do this side, and then I want to go back and I'm going to use this because it's a little bit thicker and see if, and it's going to drip to the front, but you know what? That's okay. Because number one, it just makes it look kind of drippy. Okay, so we're going to push this down, making sure everybody's where they need to be. And we're just going to let that sit for a while. So I will post pictures at the end of the video so that you can see it. This house turned out so cute. I just love it. I'll post all the supplies that I used. And I just think it turned out great.